after looking at the after looking at the different functions type of IS from the perspective of the management, we are now looking at the three major role of managers in the organization. So we have in these succeeding slides, we will be looking at the role of managers um, in managing IT in the organization. So if you're a manager, you will be looking at these three major perspectives. Number one is identifying appropriate IT opportunity. As a manage opportunities, as a manager, you will be looking at how information technology can be integrated within your organization to be able to achieve efficiency that it needs. So for example, by looking at the IT spending based on the industry, um, there are percentages that are looking or that are looking by someone or other organization looking at how different organizations invest in information technology to identify opportunities. So for example, this is a data from the US, I think, IT spending based on the industry percent of revenue spent on IT. So that means if we look at this various sector, there are varying amount where IT has been spent or part of the investment to take the opportunities that can be afforded by IT. The overall average is 3 to 6% of the revenue of the organization is spent into IT infrastructure or IT-related services. So if we look at what is the lowest, it would be looking at this data, it can be seen that construction industry is the one that spent less in IT. You can understand what type of organization is actually using IT support as a major investment of the revenues. Looking at the other side, we have financial, telecommunication, and professional services as the highest revenue spent on IT. So there might be that these in type of industries are looking at opportunities that support their organization. It is also obvious that, example, financial, telecommunication, and professional services are very related to, or the majority of the function will be related to IT. That's why they have to invest on that area. By looking at the size of the firm in the lower table, that's table 1.3, when we look at the percentage of revenue spent on IT, we've seen that as the smaller companies are spending more in IT compared to large companies. So we can examine here, we can examine it later within your organization based on the experience if these statistics are actually also true within the Philippine setting, that smaller organizations spend more or spend more IT investment to look at opportunities compared to large organizations or spending about 3.2% of their income or revenue to IT-related services or products. So this is an interesting perspective, but that smaller companies looking at various opportunities on the implementation of IT compared to large companies. We can understand that there are varying industries also that might consider IT, but not that big investment needed on them because there might be some minimal support in their organization. That's why they will not fully embrace the IT as part of the regular operation. But looking at this data, we can see that it was also practical to some organization to utilize IT to improve services, as well as the size of the organization matters in terms of IT spending. So it's interesting to see that if you are a smaller organization, there's a tendency that your revenue as of this moment will be invested into IT, maybe to find opportunities. So as a manager, number one consideration when identifying IT opportunities is cost. Where can we save expenses on a particular item or process within the organization by implementing IT? It is also, we need also to analyze or examine that when we buy IT, we can always offset the cost associated with it. When we invest, for example, 1 million investment, we are expecting a return of investment or somehow um, uh, a cost associated with the improved services that you're implementing because of that IT. Take note also that there are opportunities that you need to cope up in relation to our competitors to be able to be retain the market, to be retain your standing on the market. The we associated with cost or effectiveness of the use of IT. Second is to upgrade within your service in the organization as part of coping up with the changes in your environment. So there are opportunities that you look at the competitors, how the competitors are actually doing. You want also to implement it in the organization to be able to remain competitive. So not only the cost associated, but sometimes we need to adjust or invest on some IT opportunities because your competitors is doing it. So you have to cope up so that they remain competitive within the market or within your services. The second concern of the IT manager is to implement or introduce adoption of IT smoothly within the organization. So there are challenges when you implement changes. So when we implement IT within the organization, we have the concept of change. So by default, when we introduce change within the organization, we believe that there are resistance to change. So the manager's role is to ensure that there is a smooth implementation of IT in the organization, to anticipate the resistance and to make steps to minimize those resistance. We are not anticipating a zero resistance within the organization, but to implement it smoothly so that there are only minimal that it cannot disrupt the organizational implementation of IT. So looking at the 4 reasons people resist change, by examining this one, we need to realize that we need to address, sometimes we address these items to be able to implement smoothly the IT or the changes that we want. Number 1 is parochial self-interest. Some people are more concerned with the impact of the change on themselves than with how it might improve the organization. So these are normal also. These are also normal behavior of people that they don't want to change the existing process, and because they don't want to change themselves also. So they are not looking from the perspective of the organization, but they're looking for themselves. So be aware that you need also to convince these people the opportunities, and sometimes we introduce this as easy for them, that their function or their job will be easier if they will adopt IT. The second is misunderstanding. Some people have misconception or lack information about the change. So we have what we call attitude towards technology. There are people that naturally resist technology. So here there might be reasons such as misconceptions on the use of IT. They might not be able to realize or imagine the benefit that IT can provide in their job. So we have to convince them that the changes would always be a positive perspective on them. So sometimes we need to gradually introduce the change within the organization to minimize these changes. A third is low tolerance to change. Some people require security and stability to their work, so they've seen this as a threat to their existence in the organization. So you can imagine that there are people who don't want to implement change because they're afraid that they will be replaced with computers. Although it is expected that sometimes people resist because they don't want to be eliminated within the organization. They still want their job, or they still need a job. That's why they don't want to be replaced with these machines. And sometimes we imagine that from the existing number of manpower needed, example, in your organization, this task will be performed by 3 people, but when there is a computer, it can be performed by 1. So you're anticipating that by eliminating some of the processes, people might also be eliminated, and of course, you will be afraid to be part of those eliminated people. And so that's why sometimes you oppose these changes. Next is different assessment of the situation. Some people disagree about the reasons for the change or do not support the process. So there are personal perspective on the changes that need to be implemented. So and the reason they are not convinced of the reason why we need to introduce certain technology. One difficult situation that might be that need to be programmed if you're a manager is that if you have an existing system and you will introduce a new one because you believe that this is a more effective information system to be implemented, you have to be careful always on how you will introduce these changes so that people can appreciate it. Sometimes they need to encounter a problem with their existing implementation so that they can realize the benefit of the new system that you'll be introducing to them. And if you look at the change management perspective here in this diagram, look at that. We will start with the phases and stages of the change management continuum model. If we look at the 1.4 change management continuum, so there is a level of from contract to internalization. So you have to imagine that there are phases in terms of time and the degree of support for the change. So preparation phase, the adaptation, the acceptance phase, and the commitment phase. So if you look at these phases along time, you know that there is a certain process that is that considered the time factor to be able to introduce certain change within the organization. So it's not always automatically change within the organization, but as a manager, you need to look at the time factor to be able to implement that changes. And looking at that, you have to program it within how many months or years to be able to effectively embrace the IT within your organization and to gradually introduce the changes to some aspect of the organization to be able to some who are very resistant to change would appreciate or accept it. So the phases also of change management is we have to phase inform, educate, and commit. So the goal of informed stage, a phase, is to make people aware of the change and why it is occurring. And this stage, if you illustrate it in diagram, is a contract stage. And the description for this one, our person first becomes aware that change is to take place. So within that informed phase, also there are stages. So the stages is contract, awareness, and understanding, where awareness person has a basic knowledge of the change, and understanding is that person's comprehends nature and intent of change and how he or she will be affected. So this is a proper understanding on it. So when you are done with the inform, you have to move into educate, so that there are 3 stages also for the educate. You have the positive perception, the adoption, and institutionalization. In this phase, the appropriate description is given there and it's obvious already. And lastly, the commitment, the internalization of those change. So people are highly committed to change because it matches their interests, goals, and values. Although maybe within the organization, you might be moved on to operationalization or the internalization of the process or the change, but you might encounter some still consistent resistance to people, but at least majority of your people are already embracing or starting to embrace or accept that changes needed to be able to adapt to the changing time. There are theories that we need to look at when we consider changes within the organization. So I'll first introduce here the unified theory of acceptance and use of technology. And the key factors of IT acceptance and usage, which are we looking at 4 factors here when we use unified acceptance model. So we will examine this clearly in our next lesson later. So we move on to the third role of the manager, which is ensuring that IT risks are mitigated. So there are IT risks identified here, example in the table, that the managers will look at into to be able to implement smoothly the IT within the organization. So we have the inability to continue operations due to a natural disaster accident. So we must anticipate some management perspective to be able to continue support. So this after certain experience of organization in the Philippines, we've learned that we need to have a alternative business plan, or we have a plan also to implement when there are disasters or problems. So we have continuity plan or business continuity plan. There are already training on how to implement business continuity plan in anticipation to possible disasters. So for example, her fire destroys IT resources at corporate headquarters. Some IT risks we will just review: inability to continue operation due to a deliberate attack on IT assets. So that means you might be hacked or you might have a denial of service attack. So you need to anticipate some security measures to be able to manage these things. Compromise of confidentiality data about organizational plans, products, or services. Compromise of personal private data about employees or customers. Remember, we have Republic Act related to privacy that the organization might be violating once we are not careful in handling our data. Violation of legally mandated procedures for controlling IT assets. So there might be internal or external requirements within the organization. External, that means regulatory requirements from government or other organization that you need to follow. So you have to anticipate this one, that you are also compliant. That's why there are also other offices that has compliance office to ensure that various IT offices, or there are compliance sections in certain office to be able to check the needed requirements or regulatory requirements that you need to implement. Violation of established generally accepted accounting principles. This is important for financial institution. Violations of the organization's defined procedures and accounting practices. Loss of physical IT assets. Inappropriate use of IT resources that places firm in a compromising position, and inappropriate use of IT resources that reduces worker productivity. So despite the implementation, we need to follow up on how certain individuals are actually using some of the processes to be able to identify that that they are following certain procedures to avoid problems. It's common for some organization, after a certain weeks or month of continued usage, when you introduce IT, some users might discover certain workarounds that they are performing that might harm them or harm the organization in terms of data processing. So these are those are the three major functions of role of managers within the organization that you need to learn, and I provided some of the examples how to ensure that you are doing your job as MIS manager.